What up, guys? Today we're taking a look at the Pokornyi Engineering GTB Pro. These are my first impressions. You might like it, you may not, and by the end, let me know what you think. Later. So first we're going to look at the price. The price will vary depending on each and every one of you. For me, it was about $660 when you consider all of the parts and equipment that I used. With that being said, you do not have to go and do exactly what I did. As we know, DIYs, you have a lot of options. If you have a 3D printer, then this will cost you significantly less than what it cost me, because you can print off every item that needs to be printed and not go with carbon fiber, not go with MJF, and just do FDM for the whole build. One thing I would recommend is if you're going to go with a PCB, get it from Pokornyi, makes your life easier. If you're going to go with a GX12, as opposed to me who went with the Dan Suzuka QR PCB, but I would say if you're going to go with a GX12, get the Weipu, simply because they're better connections. The ones you get from AliExpress, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, and the connection point I don't think is as rock solid, so I definitely would do that. I went with forged carbon plates from CNC Madness in Canada. Oh my god, they look amazing, and I think when you look at it, you see why. I have a SRB wheel from Simgrade Bay, Competition V2, cost me $100, or my wife anyway, because I got it for Father's Day. And then the NRG Gen 2, but again, depending on what QR you're running, you may have some already on hand, or it may be significantly cheaper. Do remember that you will need a Vocore screen, and that's pretty much it. So $660 of what it cost me. It can cost you significantly cheaper. It just all depends what route you take and what options you have. I had many parts on hand, so some of these prices were cheaper for me just because I already had switches, hall sensors, cables, encoders, and those things already on hand. But for you, you may have to get many of those parts as you may not have them readily available. So that, to summarize it up, is the price. And again, like I said, it will vary on each person. Next, let's talk about the features and what you get for the money that you spent. So with this upgraded version of the Rally, you get 2 thumb encoders, which you did not get on the Rally DIY, as well as that 4.3 inch screen. You also get rev lights right at the top, which again makes life easy. You get 2 funky switches, one on either side, and they're 7-way. You get 4 rotary encoders on the front, as well as 5 push buttons on the front as well that have a nice tactile click to it. On the back, carbon fiber paddles and clutches work for me, so I think it's an option you should take, but let's listen to how they sound and see how they sound to you. So let's take a look at the quality. Now, as we know, this is a DIY project. Ladies and gentlemen, I do say this to you. The quality will depend on how much you're willing to spend. Depends on how many Benjamins you have in your pocket, and whether or not you have a 3D printer and many of the resources ready at hand and available. For me, I do not have many of these items, but I still decided to go a little bit more high end on this. And because it's a DIY, you can incrementally update many of these different items later down the road. One of the things I would recommend, I went with MJF enclosure as well as a resin front. If you go with a 3D printed enclosure, that's perfectly fine, but the resin front, I believe, makes it look that much more high end. Now granted, if you have the way to get these made of aluminum, you are more than welcome to go that route, but to me, I think that would be overkill for some of the parts on here. Now, with that being said, I did go with the black carbon fiber plates, as you can see here, and I think they look absolutely amazing on this wheel rim. I do run mine with the Dan Suzuka QR upgrade, so again, Mine is as wireless as it can be, as I do not have a GX12 4-pin connector on my wheel rim. So because it's a DIY, like I said, the quality will really depend on how much you're willing to spend. And as Pokornyi has stated, they aim to create a unique yet universal sim racing wheel, and that they have. You can put any wheel rim on it that has a bolt pattern that fits, and that's the 6x70mm bolt pattern. Of course, there are adapter plates that you can use, and then attach the wheel rim that you so choose. Whether you want to put it on a round rim, a D-shaped rim, or similar to the one I'm using, again, the Competition V2 that my lovely wife got for me for Father's Day. So again, I have aluminum thumb encoders because I think that is absolutely awesome. And I will upgrade some of the other things on the front just because, well, I can. And you can do these things over time, and I can buy them right from Pokornyi, AliExpress, the French Sim Racer, or many other areas. So, with that being said, let's now move forward to the conclusion so I can tell you what I think, whether or not you should build this, and what you could potentially do in the future, depending on what route you depend to take. Hey, what up, y'all? Somewhere behind all this Pokornyi stuff is me. So let's conclude this by wrapping up what I think about the GTB Pro. But before we get to that, I did want to talk just a brief minute about the Rally DIY and where it fits in compared to this, because they're both serve a similar function, but obviously one has more features. So the Rally DIY for most may serve all the functions that you need if you have a wheel rim that you're looking to use. This will serve it even more so because it has more features, but I did want to point out that this will serve most of those functions, and I didn't want to forget this because this is a great build as well. This and this can be done as low end as you want. This is significantly cheaper because it doesn't have things like the LED lights and the thumb encoders and the 4.3-inch touchscreen. And you can literally 3D print all of this, not get any carbon fiber, and be done and be simple. And unless you need shifters and clutches, then again, it'll up your cost, but not significantly because you can do all of it 3D printed. You can also go really high end with this, but Pokornyi does make an all aluminum enclosure with all the high end parts you'd need on it. They will also be offering that here on the GTB Pro. So again, you will have options to buy these already built. You don't have to do anything yourself, or you can order everything, send it to me, and I'll build it for you. So it's all good either way. You can run the same clutches and paddles from the GTB Pro on the Rally DIY. You can also run Asher on both of these if you wanted to go that route, because as of right now, as we're speaking, they do have aluminum shifters and paddles, but they do not have aluminum clutches just yet. So you do have options again. So this is a great build for anybody who just needs something to put on a wheel rim. You can go as cheap as you want or as high end as you want, and again, you do have that option. So we're going to slide this back over on my wheel stand made by my guy Matt at Simulation RS. Check him out. So again, let's conclude and look at the GTB Pro. Again, something I think you should absolutely consider. I'm going to go ahead and pop this off real quick. Again, move that over to the side. And as you can see, you get a whole lot with this particular upgrade. So with that being said, you get 2 thumb encoders. You get LED rev lights. You get a 4.3-inch screen. You get 2 funky switches, 4 encoders, and again, I think it looks amazing. I went with the full resin cover again because it looks more high-end and more polished. The CNC carbon fiber plates, awesome. Can't say enough about it. The back, again, excuse my wiring. I wanted to get it done. I was in a rush at that point because I was like, you know what? I am tired and I'm ready to have this and try it. So again, you can see I went with the full carbon fiber shift plate, the black forged carbon paddles and clutches with MJF. And again, like I said, it's nothing short of amazing. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. I think the SRB wheel rim was meant for this build. But again, depends on what you need. You can go with any rim that you so choose. I think, again, for the price that you can build this for, if you go on the cheap end, again, there's some parts you have to go with. Again, you're going to want to do those thumb encoders. You're going to have to do the 4.3-inch screen. Otherwise, you're going to have a big gaping hole in the middle. Otherwise, you just use a Rally DIY. And again, there's the clutches and paddles, which you don't have to go with. You can just do the GTB Pro without any shifters and use a sequential or whatever you choose to do. But I'll be honest, they did a really good job. CNC Madness did a great job with the carbon fiber, and I would recommend this over the Rally DIY only because it brings the extra features that you may need, and it kind of future-proofs you from needing to have, a separate rev limiter or a separate dash if you want to run one where it can be all-inclusive and you can be done. So I'd say save the money up to get this, but that Rally DIY is also going to serve a purpose. One thing I did recommend to Pokornyi was for people like me who won the wireless QR system and who may upgrade. Like, if you're going to print off the enclosure, instead of me having to drill a hole through the back, maybe just have an optional one that's 3D printed that you can print both, where the enclosure has a hole in the middle that's centered right where you would find either the 5-pin or in between, in the middle of where you're going to put your 3 holes, so that you can run the wire through the back and make it a whole lot easier. And I think it's something they should offer not just for 3D printed, but for the enclosures that are aluminum. Because again, if you're going to run some different QR system, it may be easier to run it that way. So that will definitely, to me, be a benefit. But other than that, I don't see anything on here that I'd recommend outside of, again, if you want to make the wires look neater, maybe they can have an option where you can run them through the enclosure. This way you won't see them there. And again, I could technically run it on the inside, but I'd have to drill another hole. It would really be a cumbersome process. But overall, I would say this is something you should purchase if it's something that you need. If you don't need it, get the Rally DIY, build it for very cheap, be done and move on about your business. So with that being said, thumbs up from me. And that's all I have to say about it. If you have any questions, concerns, complaints, take them up with somebody who cares. I am just joking. Hopefully you get to laugh. Go ahead and follow my channel. I appreciate it. To those members who continue to support me month over month, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. Sometimes I wonder what value I bring to you, but the fact that you continue to support me, follow me, subscribe to my content, watch my content, I really do appreciate it. If you want to get in touch with me, you can always leave a comment down below or hit me up on Discord where everybody else. If you want to build one or you want me to build it for you, let me know. Hit me up in the DM and I will definitely get with you. Hit me up in the DMs. But again, great product, great design. Of all the wheels I have so far from Pokornyi, I look forward to building some new ones in the future that they come out with. I think this is the sleekest looking when I paired it with this wheel rim, and I would recommend everybody else check it out. So as always, thumbs up on this one, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, let me know that you like what you see, and build it. Build it, build it. But possibly go a little bit cheaper than I did and save yourself some money. All right. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you guys later, and let me know what you think of this review and how I formatted it. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully you like the way it demonstrates my skill set, and hopefully I'm getting better. As always, talk to you later. Peace.